Hi everyone, this will be a direct video response to Scotty M's video, which is called Supply and Demand. The thing is, actually I didn't really want to do a response because his claims are so fucking, sorry, but really freaking ridiculous. And so off, but yeah, let's just get this over with. His very first claim is that Mason or Steiner, whatever, Red Scare TV, thinks that, quote, as Scotty M says, all people are born into this world with some God-given rights to possession. Then he goes on and says nobody is going to do this for free, which is actually totally twisting around Mason's argument, my argument too, and also the argument of pretty much every communist. The thing is, with this argument, he implies that in a communist society, everything is given to you for free. Guess what, Scotty M? Nope, it isn't. And this isn't the argument of communism or what communism is about. This is a total misinterpretation from a person who obviously doesn't understand communism or Marx at all. Also doesn't understand the communist or socialist economic systems. The original quote and the original claim by Marx is the following. Quote, "From each according to his ability, to each according to his need." Quote end. Which literally means each according to his abilities or skills and or his workforce or his labor, to each individual's needs. I really have no freaking idea how you can interpret in these words that communism is about giving everything to everyone for free, which is it obviously isn't. And this quote doesn't say so either. Sorry, but this is big bullshit. And this is a typical argument of anti-communists and a typical anti-communist propaganda. And obviously, those people have never read Marx, nor do they understand Marx's systems or the systems of communism or socialism, which developed after Marx. The thing is, Marx was not the only one to develop such systems. Actually, many of those systems go back to, at least two of those systems go back to Hegel, for example. Then comes Marx, then later come other Marxists from all over Europe and other socialists. But yeah, none of them and none of their ideas or ideology was giving everything to everyone for free. How can you even interpret this in those words? I don't freaking understand it. Sorry, but it's just big bullshit. And I must say, I have a really hard time to control myself and actually not get angry, because this is so stupid and such bullshit. Forget it. Anyway, this is exactly what Scotty M is implying with his comment here. This is exactly what he is saying with his first comment. Anyway, I will put an original source of Marx, of his quote, "from each according to his ability, to each according to his need," in the video description. Also, what I find very ironically is that he says that people like us, or i.e. socialists, think we are born into the world with some God-given right. Well, guess what? It's the actual opposite. This is exactly what capitalists think and what capitalism thinks. Actually, socialism is the opposite. It's about making people equal and not giving them any God-given rights or God-given rights of possession. It's about equally distributing this wealth to everyone, which is the exact opposite of God-given rights, which you have in monarchism, capitalism, and fascism, where people are born into a certain social status, and with that have certain rights or means over other humans or other people, which in fact is a God-given right, which before monarchy or However, together with monarchy, the church did as well. The church actually advocated this idea, just like capitalism, just like monarchy, and just like fascism. Sorry, this is not socialism, this is the opposite of socialism. But this is obviously what Scotty M doesn't understand. Obviously, he seems to think that capitalism is socialism and socialism is vice versa capitalism. Sorry, but how Scotty M is able to think that, or why he thinks that, is really beyond my comprehension. How he can even think that socialism is giving you any God-given rights over other people is really beyond my comprehension. And it shows that Scotty M, sorry, but obviously understands nothing about socialism, and even more, he doesn't understand anything about capitalism either, or any other political or economic system. He obviously has no freaking idea what he's talking about. He's just blindly repeating anti-communist propaganda. God, then he goes on, you don't have to work. Well, this is, let's be fair here. Let's be fair and say this is partly true. Because, you know, in socialism you have welfare systems for people, for example, who are retired, who are sick, and simply don't have the ability to sustain themselves, like other healthy people, or lucky people who were lucky enough to be born into a rich family, into a privileged family, and have good contacts because of their family, which other people simply don't have, because of the capitalist system, by the way, and not because of socialism. However, back to the original claim. Yes, socialism takes care of people who are sick or ill, or in any other way are not able to work or sustain themselves. However, this doesn't mean that you don't have to work. If you want profit, if you want a better living standard, you will still have to work. Seriously, where does Scotty M even get this bullshit from? I mean, seriously, come on, what the hell? Seriously, how false can you actually get in your arguments? Well, Scotty M is showing that he can get extremely false, and I really have no idea how he does it. Sorry to say that this bluntly, but obviously this guy is not very bright and not very intelligent. Obviously not. Sorry, he's obviously the total opposite. Then he goes on and says that some communists or socialists say or bring up the argument that, quote, but then they come across the argument where they say, okay, well, things are produced by doing things for free, and there will be no money and everything will be for free, quote, and. Sorry, but this is entire bullshit. I have spoken with hundreds of comrades of all around the globe, and not one of them has made this claim. First. Secondly, nowhere, neither in Marxism nor in any other communist or socialist ideology, do they speak of working for free. In fact, it is only communism that seeks to abolish money. However, socialism doesn't, which is why socialism is a transition state to communism. However, even in communism, where you have no money, you don't work for free. You work for products, for a benefit, to benefit yourself. Two, no, not only benefit others, but benefit yourself too. I have no idea how he gets this notion, or where he gets this idea from, that in communism everyone just works for free and just works, oh yeah, I just want to do this for free. No, this is not how communism works. Once again, quote from Marx, from each according to his ability, to each according to his need. Quote end. How many times do we have to repeat this? What is so hard to understand this? I mean, one question, Scotty M. English. Do you speak it? Okay, you do. Then please tell me what is so hard about understanding this quote. What is so hard about understanding this system? What is it about these words that you don't understand? Please tell me. Please enlighten me and enlighten us all. Please enlighten us, oh great Einstein, called or named Scotty M. Please enlighten us, Einstein Scotty M. What is it about these words or this quote and this system that you don't understand? Please tell us. Tell me. Do a response and please respond to this, if you have the balls to do so. Anyway, moving to the second claim. Sorry, Scotty M. Yeah, you are, in one point you're correct, that the capitalist doesn't directly tell the worker to, true, the capitalist doesn't tell the worker that if they don't work hard enough, they won't give them food. But welcome to reality, Scotty M. Welcome to capitalism. This is how capitalism works. If you don't work, you don't get any money. And if you don't have any money, you have no food. Simple logic. Tell me, Scotty M, what about this is it that you don't understand once again? Please tell me, what is it that you don't understand here? And sorry, Scotty M, your next comment is really utterly bullshit. You say it is not the capitalist who decides what the workers get. Guess what? Yes, it is. Because the company for which the worker works for is owned by a private owner, i.e. the capitalist. The owner is the private owner is a capitalist. And he or she decides the wages, the pay, and also the working conditions. This is not decided by the worker, this is decided by the private owner. This is called free market capitalism or free market system, or also liberal market system. This is called the capitalist system, Scotty M. Sorry, obviously, as I said, you have no freaking idea what capitalism is or how capitalism works. And with this comment, you just showed everyone that you have no freaking idea at all. Sorry. And sorry, you're just talking big bullshit. Also, Scotty M, as I said, I'm waiting for your own reply. Please answer me this question here. If it's not the capitalists or the private owner of the company who decides how the pay or the salary for the worker, then who decides it? If not the owner. Who does it? The worker? Are you seriously telling me that the worker decides his own payment? No, he doesn't. He is literally dependent on the decision of the private owner. And the private owner decides how big or small the salary of each worker is. But yeah, please tell me, if it's not the private owner who decides this, who is it then? Who is it? Also, answer me another question. So, you are saying that capitalists are not private owners. You know what? Which is quite interesting. Because Louise only yesterday gave us all the response that capitalism equals a company owner. So, a company owner is a capitalist, which essentially is really true. But this is not only what capitalism is about. Capitalism has a system. But however, tell me, Scotty M, how does this work in your opinion? How does it work? Please enlighten us once again, oh great Einstein. Oh my god, your next comment is just, oh Jesus. Then you go down to say that it's the consumer who decides how much the worker gets as a payment. No, Scotty. It's the private owner of the company, which is a capitalist, who decides how much each worker gets in terms of pay for his labor. It is not the freaking consumers who decide this. Seriously, Scotty M, what the hell makes you think that consumers decide how much workers get as payments? When I go in a supermarket and buy my stuff or buy my food, I don't decide how much the worker gets who produced this food. I just buy the food. And the price is set by capitalists. For one, by the company itself who produces the food, and for a second, by the supermarket who sells it. However, I have no freaking influence in this price as a consumer. And you don't have either. And also, this does not influence how much the worker earns as payment. It simply does not. Seriously, Scotty M, please tell me in which world do you live? Obviously, you don't live on planet Earth. You live on Mars, maybe Jupiter, but you definitely do not live on planet Earth. Sorry. Since when do consumers decide how much a worker earns for his work? Since when do consumers control how much a worker gets for his labor? Since when? Tell me, Scotty M, since when? And please tell me, in which freaking world are you living? Obviously, sorry, but you're living in your own little fantasy world. You're obviously not living in reality. Sorry to say this harshly and this bluntly, but you are goddamn delusional. And then you go on and say, it's the choice of the consumer who freely chooses what he or she wants to buy. Yeah, true. But tell me, Scotty M, how does that have any influence on what the worker who produces these consumer goods actually gets as a payment? How does this influence the payment of the worker in any way? This is merely a decision of the consumer himself, which consumer goods he buys. But it does not in any way determine the wage or the payment of the worker who actually produced these consumer goods. Tell me, Scotty M, how does this even connect? How is this even logic? How does this work? Please, once again, enlighten us, oh great Einstein. Also, before I move on, let me add this. In socialism, actually even more in socialism than in capitalism, every consumer is free to buy the products he or she wants. Just saying. This is actually a trait of socialism and not capitalism. Want an example? Electric cars. They were very popular in California, for example. The people wanted them. But GM, General Motors, stopped producing them. And they even took away the electric cars from the people themselves who owned them and who wanted to keep them. Yeah, this is exactly what capitalism does. Actually, capitalism often ignores consumers' wishes, because capitalism only goes for profit, and it ignores the wishes, the needs, and the basic human rights of humans, because it puts profit as a first priority. Human rights are a second priority. Socialism is the opposite. In socialism, human rights, their needs, etc., are top priority, and the second priority is profit. However, first priority are human rights and human needs. Then, after this, comes profit. As I said, capitalism is the opposite. Just saying. Now, let's move on to your next argument. Jesus Christ. Oh, and yeah, before I move on, I will put a link in the video description about electric cars, a documentation which talks about this in detail and shows you how General Motors not only banned electric cars, although actually the people actually wanted them, but they even withdrawn the electric cars that people owned, and they wanted to keep them, but they were not allowed because General Motors was against it, because they didn't want to produce them anymore, but the people wanted to keep them. The documentation has plenty of people who wanted to keep their electric cars, and even today they are fighting to get their electric cars back because they want them. Is this what you call serving consumers' wishes? No, this is the opposite. This is ignoring consumers' wishes for profit. This is exactly what General Motors has done. And General Motors is a goddamn capitalist company. Or are you telling me that General Motors is a social company? Are you really giving me this bullshit, Scotty M? Anyway, I would love to see your reply on this. Anyway, let's move on. Then you go on about how the market works. Sorry, Scotty M, but the market does not work the way you imagine it in your own little fairy tales. I have debunked this in detail already. So let's move on to the next point. Then you go on with the same argument basically again, which I already debunked. As I said, in social systems, even in communism, you go in a store and the consumer himself or herself buys what he or she wants. Once again, bullshit. Let's move on. Then you go on about competition and the capitalist market economy. Guess what? In communism and the communist economy, you have competition too. The only difference is that there are no private owners. Instead of private owners, the companies are owned by the workers equally. Which means, for example, if you have 100 workers, each of this worker owns 1% of the company. That's the only difference. However, you still have companies, you still have competition. This is called cooperatives, by the way, which is not the same as corporations. For anyone who doesn't know the difference. Cooperatives and corporations are not the same. And I am talking about cooperatives. And as said, cooperatives work, by the way, that every worker owns a part of the company. And this is why you still got competition amongst the companies, amongst the workers themselves. Sorry, Scotty M, once again, your argument is bullshit. Actually, by now, really every single of your claims has been miserably defeated. Actually, all your claims are like in the first 5 minutes, where you really throw out random bullshit and random propaganda, which I have gone into detail and definitely debunked. And you just essentially over the next 17, the total 17 minutes, repeat the same thing over and over again. And I'm not going to repeat myself like you do and say the same stuff over and over again. Sorry, but it has already been debunked. And your claims have already been debunked as thoughts. And there's nothing more to say about it. Jesus Christ, I wasted 23 minutes on you. God damn. This is why I didn't want to do a video response to you. Because you start off basing your whole theory on total false bullshit. And then you repeat it again and again and in different versions. Thing is, once somebody like me has refuted your first claims in the first 5 minutes, the rest is essentially the same. It's all built up on these lies, which have been by now debunked in detail. And which is why I'm gonna end this, because this video is already long enough. Sorry, Scotty M, but your claims are real bullshit, and you have proven multiple times that you know nothing about socialism, communism, the different market systems. You don't even know how capitalism works. You don't even know how the own goddamn system you support, capitalism, works. You know nothing about it. And yet you show off like an Einstein, or like a wise man, or like God, and think you know everything. Actually, you know nothing. And what you imagine about capitalism and your market systems. Actually, you only spoke about the capitalist market system. By the way, there's also a social market system, just saying, but this is off topic. But yeah, what you interpret in your little little capitalist market system is totally false. And you also have no freaking idea how communist economy systems work. Obviously, you have no idea. Which is why saying anything more or talking any further Makes no sense. However, I asked you some questions, and for everyone else, I posted what I said as sources and videos in the video description. And yeah, I'm waiting for your reply, Scotty M. Show me, oh great Einstein, how you are going to debunk this. I'm really eager how you are going to try to talk yourself out of this, and how you're going to try to make propaganda against these compelling arguments and facts, which are, sorry, but economic facts you can read in every goddamn economic book. You can even read this on Wikipedia. But this is also the basics of every goddamn salesman training. By the way, I have had salesman training. I know the basics of salesmanship. And yeah, I've researched it a lot too, not only on Wikipedia. But yeah, I am really eager to see how you are going to try to debunk this. As I said, I'm looking forward to your reply, Scotty M. Peace out.